feet when we lay it down. That's the closest. I would suggest that's sway back knees. Sometimes it's called sway back, as in the back swayed back, and sometimes it's called sway back knees, where it looks like it's hyperextended in the knees and the pelvis is forward. Hence why they say sway back, because it looks like the back is sort of there. Well, we'll see. It's not an obvious sign, but I'll see in the feet. I'll have a look. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my finger on here again, here. Posterior superior iliac spine. Where's the bloody bubblegum? There. And I'm going to put my finger on the asus, and I'm just going to line them up. Okay, and what I'm going to ask you to do, like super duper speed, just spin yourself around, face the other way. That way. Brilliant. I'll try and put my hands in the same place. Oh, it's okay actually. It's not too bad, it's about the same. So what that does is just seeing, all I'm doing is just relax a minute. Just put my hands on there, and looking where they are relative to each other. And then spin it around and put them on the same place and just see whether the other side is the same or whether one is anterior or posterior tilted. They seem pretty, from that today, they seem pretty okay. Okay. I think there's something going on with the feet there, so there's definitely something going on. Okay, and turn and face me. So not, the main thing you're looking at the back for, the side for, is the shoulders and basically the spine. Have you got the curves? Okay with that? Okay, so from the front, it just reaffirms that there's not a lot in it, but that this shoulder is up. Because it was up when she was this side, so it's not the floor, basically. Yeah? Not a lot. Now sometimes, not today, not on Sabrina, to be honest with you, but sometimes you can turn people, I kid you not, honestly, it's as bad as, you can look from the back and think, yeah, that thing's perfect. You spin them around, let's let you do that. Honestly, it's weird, I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes you look from the back and think, yeah, fine, perfect. And they spin around, they look like Quasimodo, basically. Okay, not too bad. Right, don't go by soft tissue. My advice would be, you can use it as a guideline, but don't judge it by that. When you go by soft tissue, so spin yourself around again. Let's use the bum. I won't use the boobs as an example. Let's say, no, this is how, ironically, years ago, I know, fortunately I did a proper qualification, but we were taught, oh yeah, you can see where the bum is lower down, and that means that this hip is posteriorly tilted. Yeah, it can. It's a good, it's sort of like, yeah, give you an indication, is that it could just be the underwear is pulled up higher. I've had it in people, just the underwear or the pants or the trousers, or don't forget optical illusions. If someone's trousers, I'm going to exactly, sorry, apologies, you okay me? Someone's trousers or bra for that matter are like that, if you have an optical illusion, oh yeah, your hips up. Be aware of it. But don't go by, it can give you an indication, yeah, okay, if that one's down, maybe that one is rotated round a bit more, let's investigate it, yeah? But don't form your assessments based on soft tissue. Try and go with fixed landmarks. Okay, sorry, let me just face the front again. So we reckon this one was up a little bit, didn't we? Now to me, there's not a lot in it, but to me that's just confirms it's still up. It's not the floor, you know. And I'm looking at the asus again. It's actually not too bad. And that's it. That's the postural assessment done from a level 3 point of view, and you've made your assessments on that. Not massively screaming out, to be honest with you. However, don't need to know this, by the way, this is a bit more advanced. If you're happy to, can you lie down on the mat? You can put your top back on, by the way, if you want to. Okay, so just lay down, just straighten your legs away. Make sure your legs are, so slide up about another foot or so. And just lay down. I was about to say lay down as you naturally do, but it could be get a shock, couldn't I? So, okay. Not really screaming out to me, other than that right shoulder, both shoulders, but more the right shoulder. Can you see that line down? The right shoulder up, forward.
Well, if someone is right dominant in, you mean they're right-handed, are they going to be right-handed foot?
No, you've got to be careful in the... No, there's no guarantee of that. I had someone who was right-handed and a lot right-handed. However, they had 2 horses and they used to lead the 2 horses with the left hand and they were massively dominant on the left side. Doesn't mean that the right hand or left hand. Anyway. But no, it doesn't always follow that way, to be honest with you. Something going on with the pelvis. I'm going to examine that in a minute. But the foot, if you notice that foot's there, there's not a lot in it, but that foot is there relative to that one. Can you notice that? Can you see that? Yeah. So again, you're looking at what muscles could do that. Psoas, some of the hip flexors. Could be bicep. Now, there might be an obvious one. I haven't got directly Sabrina's health thing and what, because you usually, it depends on how far you go in this. If you certainly was working one-to-one, I'd want to know the life history, basically, of any accidents, any issues, because you just turn around and say, yeah, I had a smash when I was 6 in the car. Oh yeah, that's that problem solved then. Yeah? But anyway, just looking at that, so what muscles could it be? The same with turnouts. It could be the glutes tight. It could be the hamstring, bicep femoris tight. It could be the psoas tight. My money is on the hip flexor, I'll be honest with you. But just an observation that something different is happening. Okay, insert fingers, put them low down your head, just like as if you're going to sleep. Just lower the elbows down. Okay, no issues there. Just put your hands in the cactus position. Don't force your arms down, just leave them. Can you bend your elbows so the right angles? Not a lot, but probably a bit less external rotation going on in the left. Okay. I wasn't seeing what I was expected to see in the feet, to be honest with you. I was expecting to get something called Aquinas foot going on. Okay, bend your knees. Oh, are you happy for me to do this? Oh, you don't know what I'm doing yet? Because I've got to ask you a personal question now. Any chance you might be pregnant? Okay, so bend your knees in, put them about there. Super. I need to put my hands there and on your belly button. You okay? Me just put my hands there underneath that. Right. There. That's where you see people's embarrassing tattoos now. Eat out for free was the best one I saw. It's true, right there. Eat out for free. Yeah, 2 for the price of 1. I'm lying, a joke. So, it's okay. Just raise that right knee, bring it up to your chest.
I don't want to.
That alone is a sign. Go on, let me ease off then. Now lift it. Yeah, I can feel that. Called the handshake and lower down. This is the psoas I'm palpating now. I'll try and get the same pressure. Do it again. Lift up. Apprehension is that alone is a... Okay, lower down. Okay.
Was that uncomfortable?
It was a little bit uncomfortable, but yeah.
It's the apprehension of even wanting to lift it, and that's more the unconscious mind saying, this is tight. This is already for me anyway. Okay, again, let's do the same here.
What muscle are you?
Psoas major.
But as a Pilates teacher, you wouldn't.
Oh, you wouldn't do this. You don't need to know this, to be honest with you. I just find it interesting. I lift that left knee up. Whoa, massive difference. Okay, what I'm looking for is called the handshake. So if you know your anatomy where the psoas is, and I won't touch it, it's right in the other side of there. Right deep in there, sort of round the back. Which is why, if it's tight, it'll make the leg do that. But there's other muscles that can do that, but that's one side. Now, when it's particularly tight, it'll call the handshake, because it basically goes from down here to and pops up against my fingers. It was tight on the right side. My God, there's a world, from my point of view, there's a world of difference on the left side.
What, it's tighter?
Yeah, big time, yeah. Now, I would suggest, from the little that I know of Sabrina, that's probably short, but strong and powerful and tight. So you can get combinations of the classic ones that you mostly come across in most people is it's short and weak. On some people, it's a case of it's short, but it's strong and tight. And we want any, as a general rule, certainly from a good posture, we want any muscle. We want a strong, but we want a flexible as well. It's possibly why I was seeing, it was the left one that was hitched up as well, wasn't it? Yeah. So that it's nice when it matches in like that. It doesn't always, by the way, but it's nice when it does. So lengthen your legs again. I didn't put your legs together. Well, they look, yeah, there's not a lot in it actually. So all I'm looking at now is you can do a lot like when someone's just lying down, when they think they're just chilling or doing whatever, is I'm looking for, so the certain things I'm looking at is one foot doing that and doing that, and what muscles could be causing that. You okay with that? Another thing I'll be looking at is the shape of the foot. We've got a video on Aquinas foot. There's definitely something going on there, but it's not your stereotypical Aquinas foot. Contraction of the Aquinas foot in a nutshell. Aquinas just means horse, horse's hoof, like that. The angle of the foot, usually caused by tightness in the calf, as such that it's effectively making someone stand as if their feet are like that. And what that does, which you were seeing in Sabrina a little bit, is a little bit of hyperextension in the pelvis forward. Hence why they call it sway back, because it looks like their back is swaying back, but they're upright, if that makes sense. We'll get you to do it in a minute and experience what they feel like for one very good reason. I'll use the classic squat as an example. Some people, let's say I've got Aquinas foot and I'm okay, I can squat down. If you've got Aquinas foot, it's the equivalent of you trying to do them with your toes, your feet raised. You physically can't. You can physically only get so far. I suggest possibly the tightness in your calf, maybe. And there's something definitely going on with your feet, but the biggest overwhelming one, other than your shoulders big time, is your hip flexor. There's going to be something else in a minute now. So you roll over onto your front. Oh no, I apologize, stay there a minute, sorry. Keep this leg as straight as you can. So you're looking for that. What's one foot doing, what's one leg doing, and thinking what muscles could be involved. Is the shape of the foot like that? Does it feel, you'll see it quite obvious on some people. The foot is just like that. It looks like, it's looking like this is really proud. This part feels like really, it's up here. That's usually a good sign of Aquinas foot. It's easy to say you stretch off your calf. You can stretch off both your gastroc and your soleus. You stretch them off differently, by the way. It's covered in the video. But to a large extent, there's nothing you can do about it. You can do a little tiny bit, but some people just will not be able to do certain movements or get in certain postures. You okay with that? Okay. So don't think all size fits all. It doesn't. Okay. Again, you don't need to know this. This is what I tend to do. Flex that foot back. Keep that leg as straight as you possibly can. Lift it up as high as you can. Okay, and lower down. And do the same with this one. Flex it back. Yeah. Not a lot in it, but there's a little bit less there. Not a lot, but a little bit. Now that's mechanical. To do the hip flexors. If the hip flexor's tighter on this side, to some degree or another, and it's mechanical, it's going to slightly rotate that. Hence why this was up a little bit more. You okay with that? Okay. What that does, you're going to be touching your bum.
Yeah.
I'll be touching your ischium. You're a matron. You're thinking now, when you, I wish I'd have known my anatomy. I don't know where that is. I hope it's not where I think it is. Right, okay, so let's assume then this hip flexor is tighter, it is, and it's rolling this forward a bit, not massively, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes you get obvious signs. It's great when you do. Now what that does, the ischium is there. That's where the hamstring's attached to. You can't really see it. In fact, I'll tell you what, let me use this model. Oh, sorry. So, this is relevant for what I said before about people stretch off the hamstrings, but it's not the hamstrings that's the problem. Yeah? Slight restriction on the hamstrings on the left, not a lot. Again, you usually get better signs than that. So, it attaches there, the ischium, your sit bones, your hamstrings. If that's rolled forward, it's mechanical. Your hamstrings are being pulled back and up, but this stays in the same place. This is getting, your hamstrings are getting pulled back and up. In other words, you're ratcheting up the tension in your hamstrings. But it's mechanical. It's not the hamstrings that it's, you argue semantics. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? It's the hip flexors being tight, being short and strong, which is pulling the pelvis out of position, which is physically putting the hamstrings tighter and tighter. So if you then come along and stretch the living crap out those hamstrings, what's going to happen? You're going to allow that to go even further and further. It's one big circle, one big vicious circle.